Inflation, tariffs, and productivity gains are shaping the economic outlook for 2025, with consumer spending and labor markets playing key roles. Meanwhile, Christina Sabo's Green Roof Urban Farm thrives post-COVID, delivering nutrient-packed microgreens across the Mahoning Valley. Those stories and more on today's Daily Buzz.
The Daily Buzz is brought to you by 717 Credit Union.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Buzz. I'm Mike Moliterno. Economic conditions heading into 2025 remain strong, with solid growth and a healthy labor market, according to Edward Notek, research director at the Federal Reserve Bank in Cleveland. Speaking as part of the Fed Talk series, Notek outlined key factors influencing the economy, including consumer and business spending, government policy decisions, and monetary policy. Real gross domestic product grew by 1.6% in the first quarter of 2024, followed by 3% and 3.1% growth in the second and third quarters. Fourth quarter results are not yet available, but economists estimate growth between 1.5% and 2.75%. Consumer spending accounted for 2/3 of GDP growth. Economists project GDP growth in 2025 to slow slightly, remaining just above 2%. Housing markets have been affected by rising mortgage rates, which doubled from 3.5% in 2022 to 7% at the end of 2024. Since early 2020, home prices have increased by 50% nationwide. Productivity has also shown strong growth at the start of 2025. A recent Cleveland Fed report estimates a 40% probability that the economy has shifted into a high-trend productivity growth phase, with artificial intelligence playing a role. However, the full impact of AI on long-term productivity remains uncertain. Meanwhile, inflation has moderated over the past 2 years, but remains above the Federal Open Market Committee's 2% target. Policymakers expect federal funds rates to continue declining in 2025, though at a slower pace than in 2024. Looking for insight ahead of tonight's national championship showdown? Jim Tressel's It's All About the Team podcast has you covered. In 2 separate episodes, he sits down with both Ohio State head coach Ryan Day and Notre Dame's Marcus Freeman to discuss putting together a winning team and leadership.
I remember partly through that year, that season, I can't remember what game it was at, maybe after the Louisville game, and I'm talking to you, and you said something about, hey, see what your players are thinking. I met with the captains, and I said, I want your opinion, right? What can we do better as coaches, right? Here's the things that we as coaches said that our players have to do better.
Yep.
I want your feedback.
Yep.
And that's humbling, because if you create a culture and an environment that really promotes honesty, which I hope I do, when I meet with these captains, you got to be strong enough to hear what they have to say. Well, coach, this is what we see. This is what we see. Maybe we lean too much on we're Notre Dame, right? We're just Notre Dame. We're going to be better than you. No, coach, we got to make sure that we prepare and do the things that it takes to be Notre Dame. And I was like, oh, this is great. And I remember writing all this down and having a meeting with our staff and saying, I just want you to know what our players are saying.
Right. And it's humbling for them.
Amen. Amen. But that moment made us better.
Yeah.
When you come into the next year and you can get into a rhythm here and you can win some games here, but if the focus is on the result, not good. No. It has to be on the process. It has to be on your habits, because in matchup games down the road, in the playoffs, in the rivalry game, like if we're not at our best in these areas, if we're not getting better at our fundamentals, if we're not focusing on the process, it's going to catch us. And so I've shared that with our staff, multiple times, and I think that's really something that we have to continually work on throughout the year, because you can run off 10 or 11 games here, and you have to make sure the guys understand. Now, when you have young players who haven't been through it before, it's a lot harder than if they've been through it before and then not finish the way you want to finish. Right. So we're counting on these leaders, to be veteran enough to say, hey, man, we got to focus on the habits and we got to focus on the process, not on the outcomes of these games.
Make sure to check out both interviews before tonight's matchup. Links are in the description. And a Mahoning Valley woman turned a pandemic setback into a thriving business, one tiny green at a time. Christina Sabo started the Green Roof Urban Farm after COVID left her unable to work. Now, her microgreens are in restaurants and homes across the region.
We're up to 16 different varieties, so I have 16. And then I am branching out into edible flowers. So I'm going to add 4 varieties of flowers, which will bring us to 20 varieties in total. They're leafy greens. So it's broccoli, it's radish. It's the same broccoli and radish that you know and love that you've been eating your entire life. I just harvest it at 10 days old. So as soon as they get their little seed leaves, their first set of leaves, they're just about 2 to 4 inches tall. They're ready to be harvested.
You can read the full story and hear more from Christina in our 3 Minutes with video, both at businessjournaldaily.com. And that is going to do it for today's Daily Buzz. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you'd like to dive deeper into any of these stories, links are available in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Mike Molitorno.
$717 Credit Union. Savings power to give your business an extra boost. Business savings, certificates, and business money market. 717 Credit Union. Make your money work as hard as you do. Check out our business money market and CD rates at 717cu.com/rates.